Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Today we're going to take a look at an oldie but goodie, Galaxy Defenders. It's a game for 1 to 5 agents, which can be controlled by 1 to 5 players, as they fight against alien invasions of an unsavory kind. Sound familiar? Probably is like every other one, isn't it? I don't know. Let's find out.
So let's go over what comes in Galaxy Defenders a lot. There are map pieces. You'll have a variety of different map pieces that make each mission unique as far as the terrain that you can traverse for your units. You will have a ton of enemies, colored blue, green, and red, correspondingly difficult. You will get each unit, each player, or each player that takes on multiple characters will get one of these sheets. These hex grid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 space grid, and then of course the alpha player, that's just the start token, and devices. The idea is your character, as it matures, will have new features added to its abilities. And if you're in a campaign, it's exciting because those abilities transfer over, and you're able to do more and more with your agents as they get better and better at what they do. You have your snipers, marines, healers, etc. Ammunition, there's weapons with ammunitions, which is kind of exciting. You have to have ammo, but for example, this says 3 ammo, so that doesn't mean you only use it 3 times. It means potentially you could only use it 3 times. You might even be able to get a couple extra shots off without running out of ammo. As far as characters, each character has a figurine that corresponds to one of the units. And you have helpful handy play cards, which I use religiously. Typical tokens for different things. You have teleport tokens. You have signals, which are potential enemies that you don't know what they are yet. You just know they're out there somewhere near the signal. Health points, and you have a variety of upgrade ideas. This, for example, is a basic tactic. When you level up your units, you might get one of these really cool basic tactics to apply to your agents. The aliens themselves work off the idea of these cards. Each alien has its own corresponding card with the information on how it will act, its own sort of AI, so to speak, how much health points it has, any special abilities, etc. These will be manifested over time as you go through the course of the game, and your units, your peeps find or get line of sight to signals, they will open up the opportunity for aliens to pop up, and those will be found here. You have events. Every mission is a little different in that you will have a set of events, and they're organized semi-randomly. Close encounters are the cards that help dictate which units activate during which times, and that is also randomized to give you a little bit of variety. The rule book is lengthy and filled with lots of details. More importantly, you have a storybook, which is all of the missions of the game. I've set up the very first mission, Close Encounters. It's pretty simple, pretty well to do. It kind of explains to you all of the things you need to do to set it up, where things go on the map, which aliens are in play, which ones are potentially going to be in play, Close Encounters, what you'll find here, and then events, and then, of course, what is the objective of this mission. For this mission, it is you must eliminate at least 2 of these teleport points. These are points where the enemy alien creatures come on in and start attacking you more. This is the very exploratory first mission. And finally, you have a boatload of extra tokens and pieces. Shield markers, health markers, special ability markers, doors, extra signals. You have devices that you can take with skills, so you can level up a skill and get a really cool skill customized to your character. Weapons, you get alien weapons, advanced weapons. Devices, you can take along any special kind of devices that give you a one-time ability during the course of the mission, and ammunition. So it's all there. Tons and tons of variety. Let's get into a short sample of gameplay. Okay, let's just roll right into it. We've selected the Agent Iridium Sniper to be our alpha agent. That is the first step. The first step is you refresh any powers and items that you have that allow themselves to be refreshed. After that, you then choose an alpha agent. And then you can test for wings. Now, what happens is, during the course of play, if you take out an alien in in any of the battle phase, if anybody takes out an alien, and it's only one alien, not for every alien, you're going to get a piece of these alien tokens. If you collect 4 of them, you are then able to do an upgrade. That could be grabbing a device, which you get to pick, or getting an upgraded weapon and then allowing it to be equipped on one of your soldiers. So that's pretty exciting. Reinforcements are also possible as you level. Well, that's what I just described, is getting those 4 pieces and putting them in there. GD wings are when you can level up, then based on how you level up, you could get a basic tactic, an improved tactic, a skill, become an elite agent, second skill. And these are all things you can do. In a campaign, you only get to upgrade once per mission, so you could ramp it up, and in games, 5 sessions, 5 missions, you could wind up with your ultra powerful unit, but it could also take some time because there is a risk. You have to roll to decide whether you actually get the upgrade or not. So kind of a cool feature. Mission status check. This is where you decide, have I taken out all 4 of the teleporters? Well, I win. Have I taken out 2 of them at the game's end? Then I sort of win. And if I didn't do that, then I sort of don't win. And I also don't win at all. So let's get rolling. We have our initial setup. We see 2 creatures. The first agent, the Iridium Sniper, has a movement of 4 and a health of 6. And he's a sniper, so obviously we're going to want to keep him kind of at bay. You can't see anything right now, but he's allowed to move up to 4 spaces. And this is very interesting. Moving each hex is 1. Basically is 1. So if it's not an impassable area, you can move up to 4 hexes. This is really the only place where that hex movement actually takes effect. In all other ways, movement is through areas, and these areas are decided. So, for example, if a monster says move 2 areas, they're not moving 2 spaces. They're actually going 1, 2, moving entire areas. And so the speed of collision on getting into combat is pretty radical. All right, so let's say that the sharpshooter has a power of movement of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, guess what? I can actually aim at him now. I have the range. The range is also in areas, 4 areas. So 0 is right next to you. 1 is anywhere in your area. 2, 3, 4. And the sniper's got some serious range. So he's going to shoot at this Arachnos creature. Apologies for that. Now, he's going to shoot. How does he shoot? Well, he has 4 red dice, and these red dice are interesting. These dice are 10-sided dice, but they hold a whole lot more than just 10 sides. There are multiple icons on on many of the sides, and so you get a lot of variety and a lot of possibility in what would otherwise be a simple combat. We're going to roll 4 of these dice. All right, ready? And put that over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Not only 5 hits, but we have this, and we have these symbols. If you ever get a lightning a lightning symbol on an attack, then that means you can ignore this icon. Why is that important? Because that is the my gun is jammed icon, which is really annoying. As a sharpshooter, because he got the lightning bolt, no problem. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. All right, 5 hits. That's pretty cool. Now we have to decide what the enemy does for it. For every hit that you ascribe, your enemy, in this case the Arachnos, is going to roll a corresponding die looking for a shield. So we're going to roll 5 dice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really? Really? And there's no extra special ability either. There's no auto shield or whatever. So, and yep. So looking at that, that's a pretty simple result of 1 damage. That's a bummer, but you know what? These things happen in alien warfare. You just never know what you're going to get. And that's it. That's it for the player. Every player has an opportunity to move and do combat or do an action. That's for there's exceptions to the rule over time, but just that's the core essence of what you're going to do. Actions can be open doors, leap through windows, search a particular place, unjam a weapon, etc., etc. In this case, we've done our simple, meaningful thing that we're going to do. I don't think we can see here. Yeah. So now what happens is after each player takes a turn, Then it's time for the aliens to get back. So what are they going to do? We flip a close encounters card. Activate all aliens at range 0. That is so fortuitous. There are no aliens at range 0. So we are saved. Yay! No problem there. So now we get to move on to yeah, so that's interesting. Yep. So, all right. So now it's time for our next agent. He is a Marine, and so he has a movement of 4 and a health of 10. So he's kind of the mainstay. So let's have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have him behind here, and then he too is going to take a shot, and he's going to move. Yeah, he's going to roll. So he's got a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So he can do it. And then he's going to roll 3 dice instead of 4 because he doesn't have quite the powerful weapon. And, oh, that's terrible. 1 hit and a lightning. And the lightning says -1 defensive die. So guess what? So he has 1 hit. The enemy gets to roll 1 less die. So that's 0 hits. Unless there's some... I don't remember a rule that says you have to roll at least a minimum 1. We're going to say no. And then, so there's another hit. Like that's basically the combat. Pretty simple stuff. Now let's decide what happens with our close encounter. Activate no aliens. Okay, let's keep going here. Activate all green aliens. We're going to activate a green alien. What does the green alien do? Well, it all depends on what his card says. Ignore stealth. So, if he's at range 0 with anybody, he's going to attack with his claws. If not, if he's 1 range away, he's going to move to the agent and attack with claws. If he's 2 away, he's going to attack with web. And if he's more than that, he's going to move up to 3 area toward the most wounded warrior. Ties, you just kind of get to pick. So we moved him 3. He's there now. Let's say, for example, that he was going to attack. Let's say that we was going to attack with, say, web. Web gives us a special ability that says we roll 3 blue dice, and if any lightning symbols show up, then the target can't move, is rooted. So we're going to roll 3 blue dice. Blue dice have a little bit of different composition. Red dice are generally better, but not. So 1, 2 hits and rooted. So he's stuck there. He takes 2 hits. Now, just in the same way, we can roll for those 2 hits to see what we do, and we're going to roll our 2 hits, and we have a special ability that if we get a lightning bolt, we can re-roll all our failed defensive die. And darn it, 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Had we done this, we could have rolled it again and gotten 2. So we would take 1 damage, and that would be that. And that's really how the game goes. There's not a ton more to it in the core aspects. Where it shines is in all the little details. For example, once you get line of sight to a signal, you immediately reveal, oh, well, that's a human. He's safe. But say we were to reveal a monster, then you select another alien. The alien goes out there. You place the alien where the signal was, and then they're active and ready to roll and attack and hate you. At the end of everybody's turn, there's a separate event that gives you a lot of usually bad things going on. Teleport means you're going to add these symbol tokens. You're going to add them based on the number of players. So this would be pretty bad. You'd add 3 signal tokens. 3 potential enemies are going to show up near the teleport points. And then all signals move 3 areas toward the closest agent. So that's a really bad, nasty start. But that's the way the deck bounces. Anyway, but what's other interesting, let's get into just get some more interesting parts. One of the things you'll find is that, like, this bullet here, like if you roll for damage and you get one of those, you've got to give up one of your ammo. If you run out of ammo, you're stuck using your secondary weapon, which everyone knows is probably never as good as the regular weapon. You have passive abilities that I haven't shown, but you could use those, like the sniper right now could just stand where he is and be able to not only roll, but then re-roll a failed hit dice. That makes it pretty powerful and kind of fits the role of sniper. Special devices that can be used to kind of reveal signals to give you a heads up of what you're facing with sooner than you would otherwise. The healer can heal units next to him. That would be why he would be pretty valuable to have back here so that he can heal units, but he's still pretty potent with his shotgun. He's no slouch. The upgrades are pretty cool. You can use them once a mission, so once you get them, they're yours to keep in the campaign. You don't have to lose them, but for example, like +1 hit dice, that's pretty cool. So once a mission, you can use that to get an extra hit dice, and that could be critical when you're really trying to nail an enemy that's down on health, particularly ones that regenerate. And that's it. Once you figure this out, you can go on to other missions. Beyond that, you can get, like I said, you can get superior weaponry and be able to equip it. Some nice bonuses that are better than the default stock that you get. But that's really an example of Galaxy Defenders. So let's get into my final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts on Galaxy Defenders. First off, let's go over the cons like we do. Frowny face. There's some inconsistency with the visuals that do make it difficult to get rolling. I didn't like that the cards, for instance, have kind of a small idea of what the actual character figurine was in the opposite direction, and that made it really unnecessarily difficult to just map which enemy card matches which enemy. Seemed a little bit silly. More clarity would have helped greatly in that regard. The move distances are different. You got to be careful on that one. Like, you'll get it, but your units move by hexes, but they shoot by areas. Your enemies shoot by areas and move by areas. So you'll have to get that disconnect. It doesn't take long, but when it is, you'll be like, okay, I get it. The manual is okay. I think it did a good job of as well. It did a serviceable job. No complaints. The scenario book in some parts was fantastic. In other parts, a tad bit obtuse. But as you get through, after the first couple missions, you get used to the style and the layout, and it becomes second nature, and then you're focused on the mission. This is not a raucous, guns flying, massive darkness, Diablo, smash 3 creatures with 1 axe kind of game. And so if that's kind of the thing you're looking for, more of an action type thing, I don't think, despite the fact that this looks very action-like, that it's going to necessarily appeal to those who just want almost a turn-based real-time experience with tactical warfare. Not probably the optimal game for you. On that note, let's get to the pros. Now, the pros are the combat at its core is phenomenal. There are many inputs that go into into the battles, and there are many varied results that come from the battle. That's really cool to me. It's meaningful to me that when you play combat, that when you're fighting, distance matters. Rolling the dice matters, not only in 1, 2, or 3 different ways, usually. The amalgamation of the results of all your dice versus the amalgamation of the defenses dice, adding in special bonuses, modifiers, all of that makes it way more interesting than just a mathematical predictability kind of thing. Units grow and they improve over time in a very nice, quasi-random, but mostly predictable way. You will level up over the course of a campaign, sometimes a little earlier than other times, but you will have opportunities. And then you get a nice shopping experience of going, okay, cool, I'm allowed to get one of these. What do I want to do? How do I boost my character or boost my squad? The customizability is meaningful. You actually get something you can tangibly do that's going to help you next in the future scenarios that take place. There's a feeling of getting mightier or being more ingenious or having more opportunities to use things in creative ways to stem the tide or to sway the tide of battle. Scope and abilities, they kind of mesh well. The scope of the map situation versus the abilities. You feel like the distance is about right for the kind of game you're doing. It's not so vast, it's not so constricted. I like that. Combat resolution, as I referred to earlier, is a very refreshing take on basically what has been worn, old, tired, throw dice, add up modifiers, who has the most, take the damage, move on. There's still that in here, but then it's added to, and you see this sort of blossoming of additional things. Yes, you're doing all the above, but you have many various ways to influence the outcome or be influenced by the outcome. You've got devices that you bring along with you that you use at just the right time because it's just the right situation. You've got skills that you get that are like, this is perfect. I need this right now. We really need to take this guy out because he's blocking us from X or Y or Z. There's innate bonuses or benefits to what you have for weapons, who you are as a person. All of that comes into play. Defending is equally rewarding. You don't have to go, okay, well, they did all that cool stuff, and then I throw dice and go, okay, how bad did I get it? No. Defending, you also have opportunities. You can use defense type skills and bonuses as well, and those are equally rewarding for resourceful play. You never truly know all the fallout that's going to happen from a battle, but at least it's generally in line with, or at least what you hope or expect to have happened, but with the possibility of a few more surprises thrown in. That makes it really exciting and far less rote than some of the other games I played that are way more direct in cause and effect. The alien AI is surprisingly lively. It has more character than you might think. The fact that each alien has its own card, its own decision tree, which is very simple but very meaningful, is really valuable because you are caring about which enemies you're going after. They're not just fodder. They have needs, they have wants, they have hopes, they have dreams, they have nightmares. The AI really does feel like you're taking on a behavioral entity who's going to do things, as they feel like. Um, the mission parameters during the campaign are also well done, and they're structured enough not to be random and just chaotic, predictable crap fest, but they have enough leeway that you're going to encounter them differently with maybe some new sub-challenges in repeated plays of the same campaign. And as good as it is with 4 or 5 players, it's very good with one. It's an excellent solo game. You just pick, you have your characters, you use them the same, you make the decisions that are all independent. It works really well. You, as a solo player, can take a squad of, I like at least 3 because I like the variety and because they're so unique. Each of the units is unique in what they can boost up and build, and plus the cacophony of weaponry and units and devices and skills and all that stuff just comes into play. It's really good. So conclusions, this is the closest feeling I've yet had to that sort of grind and progression of an XCOM game. And that even includes its own namesake, which was not really a strategy tactical game. There are a lot of great ones, and there's still some that I think are more detailed and more intricate, but I think this packs it all together in the best streamlined way while still giving you a pretty meaty combat and battle experience. Its storyline starts pretty subdued, to be honest, but it crescendos, and that's what you want. You want a game that crescendos to more interesting ends. Not only that, the 2 expansions, which are really hard to get, but you can get, take it again to the next level, and they do an excellent job of just providing more content. So Galaxy Defenders is a thoroughly and engaging experience that rivals almost all of the other campaign-style tactical games that have come out since, in my mind. So if you can find it, I would recommend it, Galaxy Defenders. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.